This is when we can truly stay in tune and watch NBA games, because this is when it gets entertaining. So let's go through the matchups. Number one, and as I'm going through these, you guys put in the chat room who you think is going to win the series. Warriors and Clippers. To me, this is very easy. The Warriors. Hands down, that's probably the easiest pick on this entire sheet of paper that I'm looking at. Clippers sneaked into the playoffs unexpectedly. Doc Rivers doing a great job with that team. And they've been able to put a quality team on the floor, which I'm very sure was not easy to do, especially with the squad that they have here right now. Trading away major players. Lou Williams continuing to do what he does, Sixth Man of the Year candidate again. But there will be no firepower for the Warriors. So that's a very easy one right there. Warriors. Nuggets and Spurs. You can never count out a Spurs team because of the head coaching. Not to mention they've been able to add some pieces. But I don't know. Denver is really becoming a dangerous team that you got to watch for. I understand you got DeMar DeRozan, you got Aldridge. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I got Denver winning that series. And Denver was a surprise for me this year. But I got Denver winning the series. I'm not going to say it's a sweep. I think it could go 6 games. And also, I think we are seeing the beginning of the end for Pop. I don't know how much longer Pop can coach. I don't know how much more passion that he has in coaching. When you lose your wife, which, we forget about this. When you lose your wife, you and somebody that he's been married to for a long amount of years, that affects you. And I don't know how much longer, he could go with that. But based on matchups, I'm going to go with the Nuggets. The Trail Blazers and the Thunder. This is going to be, I think, one of the best series in the Western Conference. But I'm going to go with OKC. I love Dame Lillard. I love can't remember his name right now. Oh, McCollum. I love those guys. But I think Paul George, the season that he's had, Russell Westbrook, the season that he's had, I don't think the Blazers are going to be enough. I just don't think they're going to be enough. I think they've had a great regular season, but I do not see them getting past OKC. And OKC has been playing solid basketball the second half of the season. And I think this is when they're going to pick it up and start to make something happen. Spurs are tough always. Experience still has the best coach. Pop says Courtney. Said Galloway says Blazers. Blazers in 7. I just don't trust Russ in the playoffs. He will shoot them out of the playoffs. I'm going with OKC. Even though they have a 6 seed, I don't think that truly says what this team is, because it's very, very close in the Western Conference. 49-33. That's a 4-game swing between them and Portland. The Houston Rockets 4, the Utah Jazz 5. I think this is going to be the first or second best series. If you remember last year, the series ended up going deep into, I think it went 6 or 7 games. I love Donovan Mitchell. I think he's not a star in the making. He is a star right now. So Donovan Mitchell and Utah going up against the Rockets. And we say this every year, Can we depend on CP3 and can we depend on Harden? Now, I'm not saying that they're going to go. I would want to say that they would go to the Western Conference Finals, but I don't know that. But this is not a series that you can overlook. This is really not a series you can overlook with Utah. But to pick a team, I'm gonna go with the Rockets in this first round, and I think it will go 7 games, similar to what it did last year. So I think this is going to be, though, a very, very competitive series. And I think it'll go 7. Said says Rockets. Courtney Harden says Rockets. They would have to play the Warriors in the second round. Good point. Good point there. But can we officially and truly trust that CP3 can stay healthy? I hope so. I want to see him at his tip-top shape. I want to see him at his absolute best in these playoffs. I do. Because if you don't, you almost feel, especially if you're a Rockets fan, you feel cheated, like you will not see the full potential of what you're going to be able to do. So looking forward to that matchup. Let's go over to the Eastern Conference. We have the Bucks and the Pistons. The Pistons sneaking in and getting that A spot. We get to see this team led by Giannis. We get to see what he's going to be able to put together in this series, being the number 1 seed in the series as well. So I am extremely interested to see what the Bucks are going to do in the playoffs. I think they're going to get past the Pistons. To me, that's I'm not gonna say it's a no-brainer, but I definitely don't think the Pistons have enough to be able to get past the Bucks. So you can put that one in the books right there. I think Bucks in 5. I'm gonna agree with you, Courtney. Fear the deer, said Galloway. I definitely agree with you guys on that one. Let's move on to the next one. Toronto and Orlando. Orlando, another team sneaking in. Orlando should not be in the playoffs. If Orlando was in the Western Conference, if they were in the Western Conference, they would not be in the playoffs. So Orlando snuck in. I think they may get 1 game, but I'm heavily leaning towards them getting swept. They may get 1, but I'm leaning towards them getting swept. We can truly see Toronto with Kawhi. That's going to be intriguing. Seeing Kawhi with Toronto. They made the addition. Don't forget, they made the addition of Marc Gasol. So this team is going to be dangerous. I think Toronto could possibly make a run. I don't know how deep of a run, but I think they can definitely make a run. All right, next series, 76ers and Nets. Again, another situation where Brooklyn snuck into the playoffs. If Brooklyn was in the Western Conference, Brooklyn would have been another one of those teams that would not have even made it in the playoffs. So Brooklyn is going to go down against the 76ers. I think that is going to be, I think you can call that one a sweep. Your best player is D'Angelo Russell. No digs on him. But other than that, you have a great set of role guys, but that's about it. So I got Sixers. I'm gonna say Sixers are gonna sweep Brooklyn. But there's already rumblings and news talking about Embiid may not be ready for the start of the playoffs. We cannot go into the playoffs with none of these people injured. You got Jimmy Butler last week saying he's got back soreness, or this week You got Ben Simmons. He had a dental procedure. He was out this week. They just need to be ready to go. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. They need to be ready to go. So look at the Sixers to, I think, sweep the Nets. Now, I guess you could possibly give them Brooklyn one game if you possibly have a situation where Embiid is going to miss time, which is saying that he might not be ready. And then you got the Boston Celtics and the surprise team. The surprise team, I think, of this Eastern Conference, because of how high they are, the Pacers. With losing Oladipo, your starting lineup right now is Darren Collison. Looks like Tyreke Evans or possibly Wesley Matthews, Bojan Bogdanovic, Thaddeus Young, Miles Turner. So they do have a decent squad, but you think about not having Oladipo and still being what they've been able to do. A huge part of that is coaching, I believe. But Boston should take care of the Pacers with ease. Kyrie, Marcus Smart is supposed to miss 4 to 6 weeks. He may not even be. He probably won't play at all. So that means you got Kyrie. You got a healthy Kyrie this playoffs. Hopefully nothing happens with his knee, because you know he's had knee issues. Jaylen Brown, Scary Terry, Marcus Morris, Al Horford. And also, not to mention, you do have a healthy Gordon Hayward, which you didn't have last year. So all these pieces that they missed last year, they basically have, except Marcus Smart, who's going to be out. So I'm expecting Boston in 5 is what I'm thinking. If Embiid isn't healthy, Sixers are in trouble. They will get past the Nets, but after that, who knows? I agree with you there. I hope the Nets win. I'm rooting for D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, it's going to be hard, though, Mocha. It's going to be hard. Maybe it would be one of the biggest upsets, I think, but maybe. But it's going to take a lot. Celtics in 6, says Courtney. Celtics are still dangerous. They are. They are. And the difference between last year and this year, like I mentioned, is just not having Marcus Smart, but you got everything else. So if they can just focus in, this team should be very competitive. If they can just stay focused, put any issues that they have behind them, not allow whatever that has happened to get in their way, they can win some games. They can win a considerable amount of games and possibly come out of the East. So I'm picking Celtics. So here's the matchup. You got 1 versus 8. I'm predicting the Warriors. And then you got 4 versus 5. I'm going to say the Rockets. You got Warriors, Rockets. You're going to get that in the second round. Not even in the Western Conference Finals. You're going to get that in the second round. I think that's amazing right there. I got OKC over Portland. I got them facing the Nuggets. So that means you could have a Warriors OKC in the Western Conference Finals. If we get that, you know that's going to be pure. You know that's going to be pure drama. You know that's going to be pure drama. You know that's going to be bad blood. You know the NBA is on their knees praying that they get that in the Western Conference Finals. So that's in the West. In the East, I got the Bucks coming out. They'll be playing the Celtics. And then I have the 76ers playing Toronto. That next round is going to be very interesting. I'm going to stick with my pick. I got the Sixers coming out of the East, though. I think they should. They got it all on paper. Can they truly put it together? Mocha says, I don't trust James Harden. Courtney says, chemistry is the Celtics' Achilles heel. That's true. But Kyrie now healthy.